Hare Kshitirha Viputare Nakina Karishte Keshavadrita Kurma Vasati Dashana Shikare Dharani Tava Lagna Shashini Kalanka Kalivani Magna Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Tishure Dharani Tava Lagna Shashini Kalanka Kaliva Magna Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Tavakara Kamalavare Nakama Dutta Shingam Dalita Hiranyagashiputtanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Takamale Nakama Dutta Shingam Hiranyagashiputtanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Chalayasi Vikuramane Balim Adbhuta Vamana Padanaka Nirajanita Janapavana Keshavadrita Vamana Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Padanaka Nirajanita Janapavana Keshavadrita Vamana Rupa Kshatriya Rudiramaye Jagat Apaka Papam Snapayasi Payasi Samita Bhavatapam Keshavadrita Bhrigupati Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Kshatriya Rudiramaye Jagat Apaka Papam Snapayasi Payasi Shamita Tava Papam Keshavadrita Bhrigupati Rupa Jai Jagadisha Vitirasi Dikshurane Dikpati Kamaniyam Dashamukhamali Baling Ramaniyam Keshavadrita Rama Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Vitarasi Dikshurane Dipati Kamaniyam Dashamukhamali Baling Ramaniyam Keshavadrita Rama Sharira Jai Jagadisha Keshavadrita Rama Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Rama Sharira Jai Jagadisha Vahasi Vipushi Vishade Vasanam Jaladavam Halahati Vitamalita Yamunavam Keshavadrita Haladada Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare
Mahaseva Pushi Vishade
Jaladavam
Halahati Vitamalita Yamunavam Keshavadrita Haladararupa Jagadisha
Nindasi Yagyavat Aha Shruti Jatam Sadaya Hridaya Darshita Pashukatam Keshavadrita Buddha Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Indasi Yagya Videra Shruti Jadam Sadaya Hridaya Darshita Pashukatam Keshavadrita Buddha Sharira Jaya Jagadisha
Vachaniva ahanidane kalayasi karavalam Dhumaketamiva kimapi karalam Keshavadrita Kolki Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare
Vachaniva ahanidane kalayasika Valam
Dhumaketamiva kimapi
Karalam Keshavadrita Kaki Sharira Jai Jagadisha
Shri Jaya Deva Kaveridam Muritam Udaram Shinu Sukadam Shubhadam Bhavasaram Keshavadrita Dashavidarupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Shri Jaya Dev Kavirya
Udidam Udaram Shinu Sukadam Shubhadam Bhavasaram
Keshavadrita Dasavidarupa Jai Jagadisha
Shri Jaya Deva Kaveridam Muritam Udaram Shinu Sukadam Shubhadam Bhavasaram Keshavadrita Dashavidarupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Shri Jaya Deva Kaveridam Uditam Udaram Shinu Sukadam Shubhadam Bhavasaram Keshavadrita Dashavidarupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Pralaya Payori Jale Dritavana Vedam Vihitavadita Charitam Akedam Keshavadrita Mina Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Pralaya Payori Jale Dritavana Vedam Vihitamakedam
Keshavadrita Mina Sharira
Jai Jagadisha
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Dasavatar Stotra Ki Jai. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a fish, all glories to you. You easily acted as a boat in the form of a giant fish to give protection to the Vedas, which had sunk in the turbulent sea of devastation. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a tortoise, all glories to you. The great Mount Mandara rests upon your gigantic back, which acts as a pivot for churning the ocean of milk, and which has thus been marked with a large circular scar-like depression. In this way your back has become most glorious. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a boar, all glories to you. The earth, which has sunk to the bottom of the Garbha ocean, sits fixed upon the tip of your tusk like a spot upon the moon. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a half-man, half-lion, all glories to you. With the wonderfully sharp nails on your beautiful lotus hands, you have ripped apart the wasp-like body of Hiranyakashipu. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a wonderful dwarf Brahmana, all glories to you. With your massive steps you deceive King Bali, and with the Ganges water emanating from the nails of your lotus feet you deliver all living beings in this world. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Brigupati, Parashuram, all glories to you. You bathe the earth in the rivers of blood from the bodies of the demonic Kshatriyas you have slain. In this way you wash away the sins of the world and give relief to those who suffer in material existence. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Ramachandra, all glories to you. In the battle of Lanka, you destroyed the 10-headed demon Ravana and distribute his heads as a delightful offering to the presiding deities of the 10 directions, a feat long desired by them all, whom that monster had much harassed. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a plow-wielding Balaram, all glories to you. On your brilliant white body you wear garments colored like a fresh rain cloud in the river Yamuna, whom you frighten with the blows of your plow. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Buddha, all glories to you. Your heart filled with compassion, you decry animal slaughter performed according to the scriptural rules of the Vedic sacrifice. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Kalki, all glories to you. Like a comet bearing an indescribably terrifying sword, you annihilate the wicked barbarian kings at the end of Kali Yuga. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed these 10 different incarnations, all glories to you. O readers, please hear this most excellent hymn by poet Jayadev, for it bestows happiness and good fortune and is the best thing in this dark world. Shri Jayadev Goswami Ki Jai. Om Jnanatirmirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Darati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Tidangscha Hey Krishna Kruna Sendo Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 34, we're starting tonight. It's on page 115. So we'll do the Sanskrit and English together. Page 115. Akirtim chapi bhutani katayishanti te vyayam sambhavitasya cha kirtir maranat atirichyate. Translation: people will always speak of your infamy, and for one who has been honored, dishonor is worse than death. Text 35. Bhayadranat aparatam mangsyante tvam maharataha yesham chatam bahumato bhutva yasyasi laghavam. Translation: the great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you a coward. Text 36. Avachya vadangscha bahun vidishanti tavahitaha nidantastava samartyam tato dukkataram nukim. Translation: your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? Text 37. Ato va prapsyasi sargam jitva va mokshase mahim tasmadutishta konteya yudhaya kritanishya. Translation: O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up and fight with determination. Text 38. Sukha dukhe same kritva labhalabho jayajo tato yudaya yujasva naivam papam avapsisi. Translation: do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing you shall never incur sin. 639. Eshate bahita sankhe buddhir yoge tvimam shrinu buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. Translation: thus far I have declared to you the analytical knowledge of Sankhya philosophy. Now listen to the knowledge of yoga, whereby one works without fruit of result. O son of Pritha, when you act by such intelligence, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. Text number 40. Neha vikramana shosti pratyavayo navidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahatobhaya. Translation: in this endeavor there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Text 41. Vivasayatmika buddhir ekeha kunandana bahushakayanantascha buddhayo vyavasayanam. Translation. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branches. Text 42 through 43, which will... Ya
Imam pushpitam
Vacham
vacham
pravadantya vipashita Vedavadarata partha Nanyarastiti vadanaha Kamatmana svargapara Janma karma falapradam Kriya vishesha bahunam Bhogaishvarya gatim prati. Translation. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, result in good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. Last text, 44. Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam taya pahrita chetasam Vivasayatmika buddhi samado navadhiyate. Translation. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination of devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. Nice set of verses here. So back to text 34. Page 116. People will always speak of your infamy, and for one who has been honored, dishonor is worse than death. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Both as friend and philosopher to Arjuna, Lord Krishna now gives his final judgment regarding Arjuna's refusal to fight. The Lord says, Arjuna, if you leave the battlefield, people will call you a coward, even before your actual flight. Even before your actual flight. And if you think that people may call you bad names, but that you will save your life by fleeing the battlefield, then my advice is that you do better to die in the battle. For a respectable man like you, ill fame is worse than death. So you should not flee for fear of your life. Better to die in the battle. That will save you from the ill fame of misusing my friendship and from losing your prestige in society. So the final judgment of the Lord was for Arjuna to die in the battle and not withdraw. Krishna goes on to describe further in the next few verses about this same point that he's making here. And he made this argument before Arjuna had surrendered to him. He said, if you don't fight, then akirti kuram Arjuna, that it will only lead to infamy. It will not lead to higher planets. It'll just lead to infamy. That was in like 2:11, I think. He said this. Okay, so that was 2:2, right? Yeah. He says, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the progressive values of life. They do not lead to higher planets, but to infamy. So for one who has been highly respected, dishonor is worse than death. This is the point Krishna is mentioning. And Arjuna is such a great advanced personality, and Prabhupada even explains, or he paraphrases Krishna speaking, saying that if you die on the battlefield, then this will save you from the ill fame of misusing my friendship and from losing your prestige in society. I was interested about this, save you from the ill fame of misusing my friendship. Do you have any comments about that, Maharaj?
Well, he's such a close friend of Krishna. They're so famous. In fact, sometimes even they're called two Krishnas. Arjuna also got the name Krishna. It's one of his names. So the two Krishnas, it's like the devotees sometimes are called the Hare Krishnas because of their being so dedicated. But Arjuna was so close to Krishna, both their families and aside from the families, just his friends. And Arjuna is driving his chariot, or Krishna is driving his chariot even. He's such a friend. And so that would be a misuse of, in other words, he wouldn't have Krishna's friendship if he were a coward. Krishna wouldn't be interested in that relationship of such a close friend if Arjuna was going to give up Dharma, if Arjuna was going to act like a coward. That's why he loves Arjuna, because Arjuna never gives up Dharma, never acts like a coward. So it would just be an embarrassment for Arjuna also. For Krishna also. If such a close friend that Krishna has given so much time to and so much love to and done so many things for him, and then for him to now just act like a non-Aryan, it would really be misusing his friendship, Krishna's friendship. That's one way of looking at it. I'm sure there's other ways.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Just to further elaborate about, I guess in a different way of saying it is, the character of somebody's close associate becomes into question when when their close associate, like Arjuna, becomes infamous for some act, right, or becomes dishonored because of something. And then thus his close associates come into question too about their character. Did they have a part in this? Did they influence them in a certain way? So that also occurs naturally. So it is explained in the Shastra that for one who is a sannyasi, who is in the renounced order of life, it's a very honored position to be in this order of life, this ashram, and one becomes very much honored by and respected from others naturally. And so the analogy of a sannyasi is that it's like having a black spot on a white cloth. If one breaks the etiquette of the ashram, then it becomes a black spot on a white cloth. So people just focus on that, so they become dishonored. But even if a sannyasi has trouble, like in the early days, Srila Prabhupada advised that he knew that making these young American sannyasis, these young Westerners, that most likely most of them, or at least some of them, won't fully make it. They'll fall down. They won't be able to continue with the demands of the ashram. And but his point was just go on serving. You can, if those that fell down, he would advise, just continue on serving. There's no reason to just give up your life or give up Krishna consciousness. Just go on serving, become purified in a different ashram. And some of them did. And some of them have continued and made a lot of nice progress like that. So even if one falls down for whatever reason or becomes dishonored, Suduracharo bhajate mamananyabhak Sadar eva samantavya. Like this, they're considered to be saintly if they just go on performing devotional service to Krishna. And so that's the point, it's just to continue on. So Krishna is trying to advise Arjuna, before we get into this dishonor, just do your duty, follow my advice, and then you'll escape this. You don't have to get into these issues of becoming dishonored. And we see that for a kshatriya to be dishonored, because they're in the mode of passion, their nature is very passionate. If their pride is hurt or diminished and threatened, then they become so furious, and they could do anything abominable to get their pride back or their prestige, back. And we saw this in the case of Ashvatthama, when Arjuna was getting equivocal instructions about what to do. Should I kill? We heard about this morning. It was Draupadi who was telling him to not kill Ashvatthama, and because of her natural compassionate nature as a woman. But he was getting the instruction by Krishna himself to kill him, and by Bhima to kill him. And Yudhishthira was telling him not to kill him. So Arjuna decided to cut the jewel off of his I believe his forehead, and I believe he cut his hair or something like this. So he dishonored him. Of course, he was dishonored by his act because he was a fallen Brahmana, but this further humiliated him. So he left that place, but then because he was his prestige, and he was so dishonored, he decided to perform such an abominable act, which was to throw a brahmastra, which is basically like the most powerful weapon you could use to kill the last descendant of the Pandava dynasty, Maharaj Parikshit.
Also, I had a point. It was Krishna who arranged for his own sister to marry Arjuna. He had to go against Lord Balaram. Krishna had to pacify Balaram, who was so angry. But it was Krishna who arranged that whole kidnapping of Subhadra by Arjuna. So now, after doing that, giving his daughter, his sister away, beloved sister, to Arjuna, his dear friend, and then Arjuna becomes a coward, doesn't do his duty, runs away from the battlefield. Wow, what a stain. What a letdown. Nobody will appreciate it. In Vedic culture, the women were also Kshatriyas, in a sense. There's a story Prabhupada tells about one queen, I forget her name. And her husband was the king, and he went to a battle. And he came back. He had been defeated, but he came back to his kingdom. And he was at the front gate. And he said, "Tell the queen that I'm back. Open the gates." So I told the queen, she said, "It cannot be my husband, the king. He would never come back alive, having not won the battle. So it must be some imposter. She would let him in." That's how much they respected their duties. The women also supported. Women would also say, "It's your duty to fight, not to stay home, be comfortable."
Yeah, thank you. See, Krishna is so transcendental that even if he flees a battlefield and becomes seemingly dishonored by a name like Ranchor, it actually is transcendentally relishable to the devotees and all living entities because it's Krishna. So Jarasandha was calling Krishna this name, this Ranchor, coward, you're fleeing the battlefield. But everybody's glorifying Krishna for that, actually. And we know that, Krishna didn't run away because he couldn't kill Jarasandha. He obviously defeated him many times before that. So there's also some history to consider, but one can become purified by thinking of Krishna in this pastime as Ranchor, one who's fleeing away from the battle. Of course, with that fleeing, he did so many things, right? He killed, he delivered King Muchukunda, and who killed Kuvalayapita, right? Kuvalayapita. Jumped from a big mountain, etc., etc. So many wonderful things. He saved his devotees in Dwarka. So many things Krishna does. So that's one nice point, that even though Krishna can seemingly be dishonored by some criticism, like fleeing the battlefield as Ranchor, but because he's so transcendental, it's actually a great, it's a source of relish for the devotees of the Lord. And people can become purified by hearing about this pastime. Magadari Prabhu? So, Krishna is saying, final judgment, it's better for you to die in the battle. So just fight. So he's using this infamy, dishonor, to motivate Arjuna to perform his duty.
He didn't mean exactly you should die. I know it says that, but what it really means is to fight and die or win, but either way, fight. Even Krishna to lose, but say, I want you to die. I want you to fight either way. And if you don't win, then you lose. There's no lose. It's a win-win situation for you. If you win, you enjoy you enjoy earthly kingdom. And if you fail and you lie, you go to heaven and enjoy the heavenly delights. No loss.
I thank you, Maharaj. Magadari, you had a question?
I didn't follow all the class, obviously, but I'm just wondering, sometimes I find myself personally motivated by not wanting to be dishonored. So I personally think, well, if I don't perform this devotional duty, I'll be dishonored. I don't want to be dishonored, so I better do it. Could you talk about that a little bit?
What's an example?
Oh, it's not the best. It's not the best thing. But sometimes Krishna's appealing to Arjuna as a Kshatriya. He's thinking of himself as on the Bhagavad platform. He's making all these social excuses and family excuses, being a good man and not being harmful and so on. Taking care of the kula of the family and the children and wanted to eat. Speaking just like a big moralist. All right, moralist. And what about the duty of a Kshatriya? What about the moral duties of a Kshatriya? What do you think about that? So Krishna is convincing him to fight on many grounds. One is, if you think you're a Kshatriya, it's your duty to fight. If you think you're a devotee, you're my friend, and it's your duty to fight. If you're a spirit soul, don't worry, you won't be destroyed. You'll live. No death for the soul. And then he gives other philosophies too. Even if you think, well, you're just atoms, or something, there's no need to lament. There's a whole bunch of statements where Krishna says, no need to lament in all these different circumstances. So, is that the best thing? To be acting as a Kshatriya or a Brahmana or a Shudra. But if it gets us to do the right thing, or a better thing, better than running away from the battlefield, should be to fight for your so-called honor. He should do it because it's his spiritual duty. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, sitting right next to him, telling him what to do. He should do it because of that. But if he can't do it because of that, then you're saving your fame and your reputation is what means a lot to you, which it seems like it does in the case of Arjuna. Krishna said, all right then, you lose all your reputation by what you're proposing to do.
Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah, I was just thinking that that might be also helpful for us. It's not the highest thing, right? It's not the best thing to be motivated by simply to do the right thing because I might hurt my reputation, but to do my right thing because it's pleasing to Krishna and because, I want to do it as a service to the devotees and to people in general. So, in one sense, having a honorable position or being honored is, in one sense, can be good because then there's that pressure to be exemplary.
Prabhupada used that against the devotees in America. He said, what is the use in being American if you don't do something wonderful? So the Americans agree, yeah, I'm American. I have to do something wonderful. And what's that wonderful thing? Become Krishna conscious. So he used that in many cases.
Okay. Yes, Prabhu, we'll take one last question or comment by Krishna Bhagavan Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. In chapter 16, text 3, Krishna tells Arjuna that freedom from envy and the passion of honor is a transcendental quality and belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. This is one of the divine qualities, is to be free from the passion for honor. And in text 5, Krishna tells Arjuna, do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities.
Okay, thank you for
Thank
the
you.
insight, Prabhu. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.